welcome to the next video of the IB Business Management video series. Today we'll be looking at 2.6 communication. So firstly, we'll look at methods of communication. So communication can either be one-way or two-way. So in terms of one-way communication, it's sort of when you send a worker a message of what they have to do, but you do not receive any feedback. Then you have sort of horizontal or vertical. So if you remember the organizational hierarchy, if it is from one layer, so from a manager to like a worker, like from one layer to a different layer, from manager to a worker, that's vertical. Then you have horizontal, so that could be like between two different managers, between two different workers. And then obviously you have sort of verbal, written, electronic, visual or video conferencing, etc. And you also have formal and informal communication. With formal communication, there are usually like established official communication channels, and this sort of communication is vertical. It can be sort of notice boards or like a company email. Vertical in a way that it is usually from manager to employee. It is usually not between like the different workers. That is usually like informal communication. And so the only problem with this is that there is sort of this like requirement of like this corporate jargon and like over formality within these within these communication channels, and that can sort of stunt the communication. But the benefit of it is that it is recorded. So if in case of conflict, you sort of can like resolve that conflict because the communication is recorded. And that in terms of informal communication, this is like unofficial, and it can involve gossip, etc. Is usually pretty detrimental to an organization because it sort of distracts from the work in case it is like gossip. And the factors that influence the method of communication will be cost, speed, the quantity of the information, size, and the geographical spread of the business. So emails will be used more if the organization is bigger. If the organization is small, then you sort of can just go to the person and tell them the information. Next, we have the communication barriers. So communication barriers can either occur within the communication process itself. So if you have an inappropriate medium, if you have a long channel of communication, or if you have excessive use of the sort of jargon or technical language, or if there's a large geographical distance or a noisy working area, these all things are just a part of the communication process that can form communication barriers. And another sort of communication barrier type is like poor attitudes of the receiver or the sender. Or even if the intermediary of the sort of information is not passing on the info correctly, or if you have poor relationship, or if you have culture clashes, if you have change, if you have mergers, sometimes there are just communication barriers because of the fact that one person thinks some things have to remain unsaid, like they expect the other person to know, but the other person doesn't. So it's just this sort of like ignorance to what all has to be said. And in terms of overcoming barriers of communication, you have to identify the root cause and then eliminate that. You can also use a force field analysis, which is a business management tool that I will use in a future video. So yeah, that is it for this video. Thank you for watching.